starting.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Y equals negative sine 1/2 x. I don't suppose you guys remember.
Wait, did you give graph paper?
Yesterday.
You didn't give me one.
What were you doing it on?
Well, my regular paper, because I didn't know he passed me. He skipped me. Shut up. I feel hurt.
Do I need to open another thing?
You need some graph paper, Nick? Oh, wait.
Why don't you get some instead, Nick?
See, look at what she does.
Yeah, you might have to open one.
You're just not prepared to like Josie is.
Neither are you, retard.
No, but I got graph paper, so I'm
You guys need to be kind to each other. Spread some positive attitude.
Shut up.
Yeah. You like being Fred.
Okay, we're good, Alina. Thank you. I will need that for later though, so you help me out still. Thanks. Alright. Do you guys know what the negative is going to do to the graph?
It's gonna
Flip move it upside down.
Flip it.
Flip it upside down.
Just kidding, you're right.
Okay.
So, I'm guessing you don't, maybe we don't remember what the 1/2 in front of the x does.
Squishy.
It's like the accordion.
Yeah, but does it go like this or does it go
It
like
goes
this?
like that.
Yeah. It makes everything happen half as fast, so it's actually
Less
a
than one.
stretch.
Oh.
So,
David, you're just an idiot.
what would the amplitude be for number 15?
1.
1. It's upside down, but it's not any taller or higher or lower. Shh. The period normally is 2 pi, but on this problem it's going to be 2 pi divided by 1/2. So it's just going to be 4 pi. 2 pi divided by half is 4 pi. So when I go to mark my x-axis, you guys remember how I put like pi and 2 pi here yesterday?
Yeah.
So instead I'm going to just put 4 pi, because that's how long my period is. So the halfway point would be 2 pi, and over here is negative 2 pi and negative 4 pi. Alright, do you guys remember what was happening at 0 with the sine function? How does that do that? At 0, the sine function was 0, but it was going up. But since it's negative, it's going to be going down. So it's still at 0, 0. And then at negative 1, it's down at the bottom. 2 pi is back to the middle, top, middle. And opposite on the back side. Gonna make it pretty. Pretty. Alright, on 17, write a function of the form y equals a sine bx or y equals a cosine b of x, bx for each graph. Are you guys with me? Okay, yeah, alright, so remember it kind of starts with the amplitude. Well, actually, sure, yeah, we'll start with the amplitude. So, do you guys know what the amplitude would be on number 17? Nope. 4. Because it's going up 4 and down 4 from the middle of the graph. So the amplitude is 4.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong.
So that's kind of what comes first. Does number 17 look more like a sine function or a cosine function? Sine. Because it's going up at 0, x equals 0, up to the middle, so it's 4 sine. And what is the period for 2 pi? Which is a normal period, right? So that means we don't need a... So I wrote this once yesterday. 2 pi over b should equal the period, where the b value is the number in front of the x. So if the period is already 2 pi, b is 1, so you don't really need to write anything in there. If the period is something else, so let's say it was 2 pi over b, say the period is 4 pi. How do I solve this for b? Well, this goes up, these kind of switch places basically. Multiply by b and divide by 4 pi, so it's 2 pi divided by 4 pi. How do you solve this for b? If you multiply by b, that cancels out. You get 2 pi equals 4 pi times b. And then you get rid of the 4 pi by dividing by 4 pi. 2 pi divided by 4 pi is 1/2. That's just an example. Basically, if you do 2 pi divided by the period, that will give you the b value. And the b value is what you put right there. Number in front of the x. Okay, so on 19, let's start with the amplitude. How much up and down is 19 moving? 1/2. It's moving up 1/2 from 0. It's moving down 1/2. So the amplitude is 1/2. Does that look more like a sine function or a cosine function? Cosine, because at 0 it's up at the top of its graph, so it's more like a cosine function. And what is the period? How far does it get before it starts repeating itself? So from 0 to pi, it's going from the top of its wave to the top of its wave. So that is one period. So the period is pi. So what do I need to put in for? So basically right here, you can put in pi. 2 pi over pi will give us the b value. So the b value is 2. So what we're going to put is 2 x. On 18, is that more like a sine or a cosine graph? It's like a upside down cosine, right? So you need to put a negative in front of the amplitude. Alright, I'm gonna stop and let you guys keep going.